Hi, everyone. Roger Bryan here, and I want to talk about cryptocurrency. Most importantly, what the hell is it? Well, Wikipedia says it is a digital currency in which encryption techniques are used to regulate the generation of units of currency and verify the transfer of funds operating independently of a central bank. So, what the hell does that mean? Essentially, cryptocurrencies are limited entries in a database that no one can change. And that database is called blockchain, which is an open ledger technology. Now, before we get into what cryptocurrencies are today, we need to have an understanding of where they came from. Most people aren't aware that they were actually born in the 90s. There were numerous attempts at the launch of digital currencies such as flows, beans, and digicash, all of which eventually ended up failing for one reason or another. Some of those reasons were fraud, financial problems, and then infighting inside of the companies that created them. The main reason that they failed was that they were built around a trusted third party. They hadn't really transformed into the decentralized style of cryptocurrencies today, meaning that they still operated like a bank or a financial institution where you had assets, and if you wanted to use those assets to make a purchase from another individual, it had to flow through an organization in order to exist. That's why they eventually failed. Those third parties had control, just like the major financial institutions have control of monetary policy in most countries today, and that we're subject to their success and failure to control the actual value of our currency. Now, let's talk about where we're at today. Bitcoin, kind of the godfather of the cryptocurrency movement and the original creator of blockchain, was born out of the 2008 financial crisis. So in 2008, we had major economic problems from really crazy credit derivatives that ended up causing major issues with a lot of the world's largest financial institutions, which locked up credit, which locked up cash flow. And eventually the government had to bail out those organizations by using tax resources that came from individuals. Well, that pissed a lot of people off. Now, most people just bitched and complained, but other people decided to take action. And that was the team that created Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a decentralized form of currency, meaning that there is no central third party that controls it. When I have my Bitcoin and I own it, it belongs to me. It's not stored in a third party bank. It's not something that a government can get their hands on as of right now. It's stored in a wallet that I control and only I can access. And then if I want to buy something from someone, it's between myself and that third party to be what they are selling and what I am paying them. I'm not going to give a percentage of that to a bank, like a credit card processing fee. I'm not going to write them a check that may bounce and they may never get their money. The instant that that transfer is made, that transaction is final and it can never be reversed. More importantly is blockchain. In the Bitcoin scenario, it captures that transaction on an open ledger so that the world can see that there was a transaction between two parties and the amount of that transaction. Now, those parties are encrypted, i.e. the cryptocurrency part of this. So let's talk about how you can use cryptocurrency today. Today, you can use it to buy things, just like I was talking about in the analogy before. I can use it to buy a house, I can buy a car, I can buy a watch, I can buy just about anything with Bitcoin, and that the party that I'm buying for knows that once they get their payment, that money is theirs. There is no refunds, there is no chargebacks, there's no bounced checks. There is no credit leverage inside of Bitcoin the way that it is designed. So I have to have the resources to buy what I'm going to buy from that third party in order to complete that transaction. Therefore, it is a very trustworthy transaction from that particular perspective. The next thing is you can invest. Cryptocurrencies throughout 2017 and into the beginning of 2018 have become a huge pull for investors, both on Main Street, Wall Street, and also the original adopters or the early adopters in the tech space. It's seen astronomical growth from a store of value perspective, and it's given people an opportunity to create wealth in a way that never existed before. You can also mine. And remember, we're talking about Bitcoin here as kind of the overarching branch of cryptocurrency. And in later videos, we'll talk about some of the other cryptocurrencies that are out there. But you can mine it. You can set up physical infrastructure in order to provide the computing power that is needed to record those and prove those transactions between two parties. Now, remember, mining is not the centralized aspect of like a bank controlling whether or not the transaction goes through or that they can stop it for a reason they don't like. It's just computational power and electrical power in order to process the transaction and create the open ledger record that is needed for that transaction to take place. As a business owner, you can also accept Bitcoin as payment. Many companies do it. Overstock is a big one. A lot of online retailers have been accepting Bitcoin for years in order to take payments. A lot of retail establishments will accept it. And with the rise of digital or mobile wallets, it's become easier and easier to spend. So if you were asking yourself what cryptocurrency was or is, let me give you a basic synopsis. It is a digital currency that allows transactions to take place between two individuals on an open ledger, which is called the blockchain, giving complete transparency to transactions and limiting the amount of restrictions that come with current fiat currency today. If you like this video, check out the link below. We've got some other great resources for you, and feel free to subscribe to our channel. Roger Bryan, thank you for your time. Peace.